Omaha native Harrison Phillips is entering year 8 in the NFL. Harrison, what's your reaction? Year 8, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild how fast it's gone. You like blink your eyes and your career has, I have less in front of me than that's behind me, unfortunately, but it's been a blessing.
Well, how scary is this defense looking? Because I've been hearing a lot about the defense here in Minnesota.
It's really cool to see how each year we kind of add new pieces and evolve, and each year our scheme evolves as well. Now it's super early, but for it to be August 1st and to see us firing the way that we're firing on all, at all levels, I think that there's a good cohesion, and I'm optimistic about what we could do.
Yeah, what's been your impression of J.J. McCarthy off injury?
Well, off the injury is incredible. You can see his whole transformation physically and mentally, the amount of confidence he has going into year 2. And I think I said this a few months ago in the NFL, kind of ran with the quote. I was comparing his leadership styles to Josh Allen's, going into year 2 at a young age, having to understand that you hold the keys to the franchise. And I think he's done a great job bearing that cross.
Yeah, well, when you think about your journey, would you ever believe that you'd be sitting here on this field today, year 8 in the NFL?
Yes and no. I was a little cocky high school kid, so I believed in myself quite a bit. But no, I know that I'm here by the grace of God. I'm super blessed, and I know that at some point in my journey, it became a goal of mine to be able to walk off the field and hold your kid. And so this year, having to play long enough that I was able to get married, settle down, have a child, have the baby, be here. So now that the next goal would be to play long enough that the kid has memories of it. So, but it was a core memory unlocked when I got to walk off the practice field for the first time, and there was my wife and my son Roman sitting right there. It definitely, after like a bad day or like coaches yelling at you or something, you kind of forget all that when you see them.
Yeah, that's really special. How has fatherhood been for you then?
It has been a journey, and I said something the other day. I said fatherhood is a lot harder than playing double teams. I think I'd rather play double teams than take baby one-on-one. I'm trying to learn that role, but it's been really cool to see my wife evolve. She's done such an amazing job in motherhood. It's been inspiring and been really the only way that I can go away. I live in a hotel right now. I don't get to help out at all. We don't have friends and family here, so she's just manning the fort, and it's beautiful on her.
Well, we'll get to Shay and your story with her in just a moment, but when you think back to your high school journey too, just what kind of advice would you give to those kids back in Omaha that want to be on this NFL field one day?
Yeah, I think I would say, reach for the stars. And if you reach for the stars and you only get the clouds, you're still higher than everyone else. And so I encourage people to make really hard, long off goals that maybe you'll never obtain. My goal was to be the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, and that didn't happen. My goal is to be all pro and a Hall of Famer. Maybe those things don't happen, but you accomplish a lot of great things along the way. So I would say just have that belief and don't be afraid to tell people your goals.
All right, so we got to give some shine to the NFL wives because they do so much behind the scenes. Like, what is Shay taking care of as you have an NFL season? And I guess now you have a baby too, so.
Yeah, I mean, this training camp has been insane. With 2-month-old, soon to be about to be 3 months old, they're on a eat, wake for an hour, sleep for 2, eat, wake for an hour, diapers, and baby only wants to sleep in mom's arms, some contact naps. So like 24 hours a day, she's manning the fort. And I think the wives and the female mothers of the babies while the players are away, they truly are going to their training camp too. My wife asked me, I think, on our first off day when she was kind of telling me the stories of, he was up all night, I couldn't get him to this, he didn't want the bottle, and I was kind of complaining about, my back's kind of hurting, my elbow. She's like, well, what would you rather do? Would you rather go back to camp tomorrow, or would you want to take this? And I was like, probably go to training camp tomorrow and play some double teams.
How did you and Shay meet?
We're high school sweethearts, so we were on the track team together. She's a year younger than I am, so I kind of, when she came into school, even her freshman year, and I was a sophomore, I'd seen her, and you kind of have some attraction or whatever. I think a couple years later, we were both single and started flirting and texting, and asked her to go to prom, and became boyfriend and girlfriend, and we've kind of been together ever since.
Wow. So what was your first official date then?
Spaghetti works. She's a huge pasta lover, and to this day, if I'm ever screwing up or in the doghouse, I'm going to find some way to get some Italian or some pasta in the house. And spaghetti works in Omaha.
Who said I love you first?
Ooh. I think she texted I love you first with like a LOL or like a laugh emoji or something like that. But I think I said I love you first.
Okay, I would say that counts more. I would say. Tell me about your proposal story.
Yeah, so my wife obviously was dating Shay for like 8 years, 7 years. We went ring shopping together. She picked out the exact diamond and ring. She knew what she was going to get. I didn't want to spend that amount of money and get it wrong. So she knew it was coming, and I didn't want to be so obvious to like, hey, let's go out to dinner and go get your nails done and your hair done. So I had an event. I was invited to the Super Bowl, which was in Las Vegas for that year. And I bought a plane ticket that left Friday night after my appearance. I had to be there on a Friday. Bought the plane ticket, showed her the boarding passes. We were leaving Friday night on a red eye to get back to Omaha. And my event got done around 5. I went and booked us a really nice dinner at a restaurant, so she had to go get dolled up. Plus, she was at my event all dolled up. And we went to the dinner, and we were at this new resort on Las Vegas' Strip. That's where the draft was. And when the waiter handed me the bill, he also slid me the room key. I already bought a room. Again, she thinks we're leaving that night, and I said, hey, we got like a half an hour before we need to leave. Why don't we go up to the rooftop and see like the view from the Strip? So she was like, yeah, I guess, sure. And we get up and we go to the top floor, and she's like, what are you doing? And I walked to the room and I opened the door. She's like, what are you doing? And I opened the door, and I had like rose petals lined up to marry me sign with a heart and all that. And it was just the two of us. Okay. And then, I had a photographer come up and take some photos of us, but that's how she wanted. She just wanted to be the two of us. And I don't remember what I said. I don't remember what she said, but I know that I got her pretty good.
Okay. All right, a question for the girls. So I've got a fantasy football league, all girls. They're not the biggest football fans. What would your fantasy football advice be for the first timers?
Ooh, like to actually be good, or like a fun way to pick teams?
To be good.
Okay.
To win the league.
To win the league, I would say you draft the Vikings defense.
Yep.
Okay. And then you draft Justin Jefferson. And then you draft J.J. McCarthy. And then you draft Aaron Jones. And then you draft T.J. Hawkinson. And that's probably the best way to go.
Just go down the line. I love it. Okay, rookie dinner. Did you guys do that? Were you a part of that dinner?
I had a rookie dinner, yes. Okay. And then I've been a part of a rookie dinner every year since.
So 7 of them.
Yes. Obviously mine was the worst because it was the time you have to pay.
Yeah.
But I was really fortunate. I had a year 13 NFL veteran named Kyle Williams who, although he gave me a ton of tough love, he didn't allow the dinner to get out of hand. He knew that I was very frugal, didn't like spending money. And so I think the bill might have, it wasn't like $10,000. It was less than that. I've been a part of some rookie dinners that are close to, $20,000 up there.
Oh, gosh.
And it's just part of the brotherhood. I remember mine. And one thing that I'll always remember is there's a really expensive alcohol called Louis the 13th. Depending on where you're at, it can be $300-$400 an ounce.
Wow.
And one of my teammates ordered a double Louis and Coke. So he ordered a $700 drink, mixed it with Coca-Cola. And that was like, I felt very disrespectful. But again, one of those memories I'll always have.
So do the rookies just have to split the bill no matter what?
Yeah, I was the only draft pick we had, so I think I paid for the whole bill, and then my undrafted free agent bought the tip. But depending on, or paid for the tip, depending on, you have 2 rookies, 3 rookies, you can split it evenly. Last year we had 3, they all split it evenly, so it's kind of just based on that.
Okay, do you go back and watch your own highlights ever?
I definitely do. I definitely have gone back and watched highlights, even all the way back to Millard West highlights.
Oh my gosh.
Millard West highlight. I felt like Millard West was so fun because you'd play against offensive linemen who were like 210 pounds.
Yeah.
Those were the glory days.
Okay, do you have a group chat name like with the D linemen? Like, do you guys all have different position group chats?
Yes, we do all have position group chats, and we normally have one that'll just be like D-line, and it'll have all the coaches in it, and then we'll have one called D-line, no coaches. And so there's one without the coaches and one with the coaches.
Okay. What was your first big purchase or something you splurged on?
Ooh, a splurge. Okay, so I had to buy a vehicle when I got to the NFL. I did not splurge. I bought a 2010 used 4Runner, no camera, no automatic start, none of that. That wasn't a splurge. After I came back from my torn ACL, I was then medically cleared sometime in the summer. You're 100% good to go for this next season. Yeah. And I bought a Rolex as like a reward to myself. And that's still the only expensive watch like that I've purchased. Yeah. But that was my first splurge.
Do you ever play as yourself on Madden?
I do. I don't play video games at all. I don't play video games much. Sometimes after an injury or if you're rehabbing or something, I'll play on the video games. But once a week, I turn on Madden and I play as the Vikings versus the team we play, and I turn it to rookie mode and I turn the sliders all the way up for the defense and the offense all the way down, and have like a 99-0 win with 6 sacks, forced fumbles, TFLs, and I do that like once a week.
You're doing that in the season?
I do that once a week. That's the only time I turn on the Xbox. Who we play this week? Oh, we play the Bears. All right, rookie mode. Turn up sliders to 100% for the defense, 0% for the, like, they have pass blocking, run blocking. I turn it all the way down to 0, and then I just go have like a 15 tackle game.
Okay, I haven't even really addressed your facial hair yet. Can you tell me what's going on here?
I forgot about that. A couple of the younger players wanted to do something, so they did some mustaches. I didn't want to go full mustache. I've done the goatee look before. Blake Cashman went with a mustache today. I figured I was getting, we're 2 weeks into camp or whatever, so I was getting a pretty full beard. Yesterday I had a full beard, and I figured I'd just trim it off and style it a little bit.
So what does recovery look like for you? Like, how would you describe your body after an NFL game?
After a game?
Yeah.
Wow. It's not an exaggeration. It'd be like getting in a severe car accident. I mean, there is trauma to the body immediately. You go do a full body MRI after a game, and you will see edema and swelling and strains all over the body. But you really don't feel it that next day because they're able to give you some anti-inflammatories and some painkillers on game day. The next day, you still kind of wake up like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. But then on Tuesday, it's literally like you got hit by a train, and you just try to monitor as best you can. I'm a big fan of getting in the pool, doing some motion unweighted, big on contrast therapy. I get a ton of acupuncture and dry needling through the year. We have every resource that you can here with the Vikings, so I've been fortunate for that. But as I get older, you just need to get on top of it as quick as you can.
What are you eating before and after games? You gotta eat whatever you want.
Well, that's the thing. We get full buffets. Pre-game meal is anything you want: cheeseburgers, pasta, stir fry, protein shakes, steak, potato. I mean, it's buffet of whatever you want. But it's kind of a funny thing that people don't guess. Upstairs in our cafeteria right now, we're gonna go have dinner, and it'll be like chicken breast and broccoli and sweet potatoes, like pretty healthy options. But then the night before the game, they have a dessert buffet, and it's got like peach cobbler, ice cream sandwiches, cookies, and so I always have a couple chocolate chip cookies the night before the game. And then the last few years, if I get a sack, my sack meal is I go to Taco Bell.
What's your order there?
It's ridiculous.
I got here.
I mean, it depends on how good I played. Did I just fall into the sack? Did I actually earn the sack? But it's almost like I'm punishing myself. If you think about it, I played a super hard game, and then I'm just gonna go fill my body with the worst shit that you could. I'm gonna add inflammation to my body. But I go to Taco Bell. If I get a sack, I'll get like 3 chicken quesadillas, and then sometimes like a Taco 12 box. I may not finish them all. Maybe my wife will have a few of them. Baja Blast. And then even every once in a while I'll throw in one of those burritos they have. So it's a dirty meal.
All right, last one I want to end on is the story of you and your grandma getting you to Stanford. I think that's a really cool one. Can you kind of explain how that all happened?
Yeah, when I was getting recruited, it was a really tough time for my parents. My dad lost his job for the second time, and the first time we got to 0. And then lost it again. We started getting negative, and we really couldn't afford to take these recruiting trips. So my recruiting process was, hey, where can we drive to and get back without having to stay in hotels and fly to? Well, I started getting more and more recruited, and I started getting some real interest from some schools: Stanford, Alabama, and Florida State. And Texas. So there's like 4 schools that I would need to fly to go to their camps and get hotels and that whole thing. And my grandma pretty much said, I'll pay for you to get to one of them. Otherwise, my parents probably wouldn't have been able to afford to get me out there. And coming from Nebraska, I needed to go to those camps, let them see me in person in order to earn a scholarship. And although she said, hey, Harrison, you can choose where you'd like to go, but you're going to choose Stanford, right? It was kind of one of those, like, I'm going to pay for you to go, but I better be paying for you to go to the Stanford one because of the education. So she footed the bill and allowed us to go out to Stanford and put on a camp. And our flight got canceled. We were delayed. We had 0 sleep. Barely made it to the camp off of 0 sleep, and ended up earning a scholarship over a couple-day camp, and it was go card ever since.
What was your reaction earning that scholarship out of that camp?
I remember vividly. So David Shaw wasn't at the camp. He was on vacation in Africa, and they record all your reps, and so they didn't offer me a scholarship right then, and I almost felt like a disappointment. My grandpa paid all this money for me to come out here. They didn't offer me. So we fly home, and I'm kind of down in the dumps, and I get a phone call from Coach Shaw, and he offered me, and I remember diving back onto my bed, and I didn't remember what he said after that because I took the phone away, and I was just like sitting on a cloud, so excited, probably screaming, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on the phone. He was still talking. So I don't even know what he said after he said, we wanted to offer you a scholarship. Yeah, but it was a very surreal moment. It wasn't And I wasn't like, oh my God, I'm going to commit right now, but 99% of the way there.
Well, look at you now, Harrison. You're in the NFL.
Yeah,
Congrats.
blessing for sure.